Europe is witnessing a significant shift in immigration policies, and some cities are now actively pushing out immigrants due to economic struggles, rising crime rates, housing shortages, and political tensions. While immigration has played a key role in shaping modern Europe, many governments are now tightening laws, making it harder for immigrants to stay, work, or even find a home. But what's really happening? Why are some of Europe's biggest cities enforcing these policies? And which cities are leading this movement? Today, we're breaking down the 10 European cities that are actively pushing immigrants out in 2025 and the key reasons behind these drastic measures. But before we dive in, I want to make one thing clear: I don't waste your time with useless filler or baseless opinions. My videos are backed by legal research, data, and facts, and you can find all sources in the description. 10. Paris, France. Paris, the heart of France and one of the most diverse cities in Europe, is now seeing a major crackdown on immigration. The French government has introduced strict policies that make it harder for immigrants to find housing, legal work, and social benefits. Crime has become a growing concern, particularly in neighborhoods like Saint-Denis, where over 30% of the population consists of immigrants. In the past year, violent crime rates in these areas have increased by 27%, and the government has been under pressure to take action. Beyond crime, the housing crisis in Paris is at a breaking point. Rent prices have surged by 15% in just 2 years, making it difficult for both locals and immigrants to afford accommodation. Many Parisians argue that the influx of asylum seekers has overwhelmed the housing system, leading to stricter policies that prioritize French citizens. The French government has responded with tougher visa regulations, making it nearly impossible for low-income immigrants to stay. In 2025 alone, over 30,000 undocumented immigrants are expected to be deported from Paris. 9. Stockholm, Sweden. Sweden was once one of the most immigrant-friendly countries in Europe, but today, Stockholm is at the center of a major immigration policy shift. The Swedish government has introduced new laws that revoke residence permits for unemployed immigrants and increase deportations of undocumented individuals. This comes in response to a significant rise in gang-related violence, which has led to over 150 shootings in 2024 alone. Many of these crimes have been linked to organized gangs that recruit immigrants, fueling public concerns about safety. Housing is another major issue in Stockholm. The city is struggling with severe housing shortages, and locals argue that immigrant families are being prioritized over Swedish citizens in the social housing system. This has created a strong backlash, with 62% of Swedes now believing that immigration has negatively impacted the country. The government is responding with tougher visa rules and stricter asylum policies, making it much harder for new immigrants to settle in Sweden. 8. Rome, Italy. Italy has historically been a gateway for immigrants entering Europe, but in 2025, the Italian government is enforcing some of its toughest immigration policies yet. Illegal migration has become a major political issue, with the government blocking migrant boats from landing and increasing deportations. The country's economy is also struggling, with youth unemployment at 23%, which has fueled resentment toward immigrants who are seen as competing for jobs. Beyond economic concerns, the Italian government has imposed stricter work visa requirements, making it nearly impossible for low-skilled immigrants to obtain legal status. Many asylum seekers who previously found safety in Italy are now being forced to leave due to changes in residency laws. These policies are expected to result in a record number of deportations in 2025, as Italy continues to tighten its immigration system. 7. Vienna, Austria. Vienna has taken a hard stance on immigration, introducing new policies that restrict access to social benefits for immigrants. Reports show that 60% of social housing recipients in Austria are non-citizens, leading to policies that now prioritize native Austrians. This change has made it incredibly difficult for immigrants to find affordable housing, forcing many to leave the city. In addition to housing concerns, Austria has also increased deportations of undocumented immigrants. In 2024, the country removed over 15,000 illegal immigrants, and in 2025, that number is expected to rise significantly. Cultural integration issues have also played a major role in Vienna's shifting stance, with growing tensions between immigrants and locals leading to an increase in anti-immigration protests. 6. Berlin, Germany. Germany, once seen as the most welcoming country for immigrants, is now tightening its stance, and Berlin is at the forefront of this shift. In recent years, Berlin has seen a 35% increase in migrant-related crimes, leading to growing public pressure for stricter immigration laws. Rising rents and a severe housing shortage have also created tension, with locals struggling to find affordable accommodation. Rent prices have increased by 25%, pushing the government to introduce new laws that limit housing assistance for non-citizens. To address these concerns, Germany has implemented fast-track deportation policies that allow for quicker removal of immigrants who fail to meet employment or residency requirements. This move has sparked controversy, but the German government argues that it is necessary to protect the economy and public safety. 5. Madrid, Spain. Madrid has been a key entry point for immigrants, particularly from North Africa, but Spain's immigration policies are now undergoing major changes. In 2025, the government has introduced tighter work permit restrictions, making it much harder for immigrants to find jobs legally. Welfare programs are also being restructured, limiting benefits for non-citizens in an effort to reduce public spending. The Spanish government has also launched deportation campaigns, removing over 20,000 undocumented immigrants in the past year alone. With public opinion shifting against open immigration policies, Madrid is enforcing one of the strictest immigration crackdowns in recent history. 4. Brussels, Belgium. As the political capital of Europe, Brussels has long been a center for immigration, but in 2025, Belgium is tightening its policies. The government has introduced shorter asylum application periods and faster deportation processes, making it harder for immigrants to obtain legal status. Crime has also been a growing concern, with several neighborhoods in Brussels experiencing an increase in gang-related violence. The Belgian government is now focusing on reducing illegal immigration by enforcing stricter border controls and increasing deportations. 3. Copenhagen, Denmark. Denmark has been one of the strictest European nations when it comes to immigration, and in 2025, its policies have become even more unforgiving. Copenhagen, the country's capital, has seen an aggressive push toward limiting immigrant benefits and reducing the number of asylum seekers. One of the biggest policy shifts is the elimination of automatic welfare access for non-citizens. Previously, immigrants could receive social support, but now they are required to have worked and paid taxes for a minimum of 5 years before qualifying for benefits. This move has forced thousands of immigrants into financial instability, making it nearly impossible for many to survive without a stable job. The Danish government has also introduced a new deportation law that targets unemployed immigrants. Under the 3-month employment rule, immigrants who fail to secure a job within 3 months of arriving or who lose their employment after settling in Denmark are now subject to immediate deportation. This strict policy has led to a 40% increase in deportations in 2025, especially among asylum seekers from Syria, Afghanistan, and Somalia. Furthermore, Copenhagen is limiting public housing availability for non-citizens. The government has restructured housing policies, prioritizing Danish-born citizens, which has pushed many immigrants into homelessness or forced them to leave the country altogether. Public sentiment toward immigration has also hardened, with surveys indicating that 68% of Danes support these strict measures, citing economic concerns and the need to protect social services for native-born citizens. 2. Amsterdam, Netherlands. Amsterdam, a city once famous for its open border policies and progressive stance on migration, is now shifting dramatically towards stricter immigration enforcement. One of the biggest reasons for this crackdown is the severe housing crisis. Over the past few years, Amsterdam has faced a 32% increase in rental prices, making affordable housing nearly impossible to find. With social housing in high demand, the Dutch government has implemented a new priority system that gives Dutch citizens first access to state-funded apartments. This change has left thousands of immigrants struggling to find a place to live, forcing many to relocate outside of the Netherlands. Additionally, the Dutch government has tightened asylum and work permit laws. The approval rate for asylum applications has dropped by 40% in 2025, making it far more difficult for immigrants to obtain legal residency. Those who are already in the country but failed to secure long-term work contracts are now at risk of deportation. This has especially affected North African and Middle Eastern migrants, who make up a large portion of Amsterdam's immigrant population. Crime concerns have also fueled this shift. Reports indicate that organized crime networks involving foreign nationals have been linked to a rise in drug trafficking and violent offenses in Amsterdam. As a result, Dutch authorities have ramped up police patrols and surveillance in high-crime areas, while the government has fast-tracked deportations for immigrants involved in criminal activity. Public opinion has also shifted, with over 60% of Dutch citizens now supporting these new restrictive immigration policies. 1. London, United Kingdom. London, one of the most diverse cities in the world, has historically been a major hub for immigrants, but in 2025, the UK government has taken a hard-line approach to immigration. One of the biggest changes is the reduction of work visas. The UK has introduced stricter employment sponsorship requirements, making it much harder for immigrants to secure jobs in London. Under the new system, only highly skilled workers earning above £45,000 per year are eligible for long-term work visas. This has significantly reduced the number of new immigrants entering the country and has led to mass layoffs of lower-wage foreign workers who no longer qualify under the updated visa rules. The government has also implemented a large-scale deportation program, focusing on undocumented immigrants and asylum seekers who have had their applications denied. In 2025 alone, over 50,000 illegal immigrants have been removed from the UK, with many being sent back to their countries of origin through chartered deportation flights. Housing shortages have further fueled London's anti-immigration stance. With over 250,000 people on the waiting list for social housing, the government has passed new regulations that restrict non-citizens from accessing public housing subsidies. This has led to a sharp rise in homelessness among immigrants, particularly those from Eastern Europe and South Asia. Political shifts have also played a major role in London's changing stance. The UK government has leaned towards stricter border control policies, with prime ministerial leaders pushing for a British First policy that prioritizes local workers and citizens over foreign migrants. The result? London is experiencing one of its most aggressive immigration crackdowns in recent history, and the situation is expected to become even tougher for immigrants in the coming years. These changes in Copenhagen, Amsterdam, and London highlight a growing trend in Europe: stricter immigration policies, fewer job opportunities, and increased deportations. What do you think? Are these measures justified, or are they going too far? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more well-researched, fact-based content. What should I cover next?